I want to introduce our new form of presenting the teaching of the diamond approach in the Radwan School. A form that integrates all the various needs that different people, different of you have. In the 40 years or so of teaching the diamond approach, we presented it in in-person groups, private sessions, small groups. So it was close contact. And that has worked very well. This is what we call the classical method, similar to the ancient ways of teaching in the presence of the teacher. But our times have changed. People have changed, technology has changed. And many people cannot commit to that amount of time and resources for an ongoing group. Some of you want just limited engagement with the teaching. You can't or you don't want that full engagement. Some of you don't have the finances or the time for the full engagement. Some of you are in a geographical situation where you don't have teachers or groups. So the new way, I'm calling it the diamond net. It's a net that is both virtual and physical. It includes both the in-person direct contact groups and online courses and teaching and presentation, and the integration of the both. So, and it will allow different degrees of engagement with the teaching of the diamond approach. And each greater engagement will give a greater access, more exposure to the depth, fullness, and richness of the teaching. And when it comes to the online courses, there'll be themes that doesn't teach exactly the way we teach in the group, but theme that gives an idea of what the diamond approach is. And the diamond net talks themselves, teaching themselves. There'll be more general principles of the teaching that will introduce you to what the diamond approach is, what is it about, what are its practices. So that way you can have a feeling and have a sense what the teaching about, and if it is something you want to engage further by taking an online course, for instance, or joining a book study group, or actually joining and committing to an ongoing group. So you get the full teaching. So the idea here is that there will be some of you who will be just taking some online courses or just listening to the online part of the diamond net. Some of you will be doing that while also engaging in some kind of inquiry group or a book study group. Some of you will be doing that plus being part of an ongoing weekend group or a retreat group. And there will be other modalities that will happen. So the diamond net is a big net of many people and many groups, many individuals all around the world that are all connected through some kind of a virtual net that will also encompass the in-person group that meet in weekends or retreats. And that way, it will have different degrees of engagement, which mean different time, different freedom for you about when to engage it, and different cost because of that. That's because we really want the teaching to respond to how the world has changed. The world has changed. It is different. And it requires a more integrated, more comprehensive way of presenting the teaching. And so the diamond approach, spearheading this way of presenting a true teaching that has the richness and depth, but in ways where the student can engage it in the ways they can, and then they can transition from one level of engagement to another. So you could move from one level of engagement to another. And that will be the new face of the Radwan School and the Diamond Approach. So when it comes to the content of the teaching in the Diamond Net, it will depend on the engagement, how engaged you are, or which level of engagement. The individual who are involved in ongoing groups, whether weekends or days or retreat formats, they will have the usual teaching going through the stages of the qualities, dimensions, and ways of realization of our true nature. And when it comes to the online courses, there'll be themes that doesn't teach exactly the way we teach in the group, but theme that gives an idea of what the Diamond Approach is. And the Diamond Net talks themselves, teaching themselves. There'll be more general principles of the teaching that will introduce you to what the Diamond Approach is, what is it about, what are its practices. So that way you can have a feeling and have a sense what the teaching about, and if it is something you want to engage further by taking an online course, for instance, or joining a book study group, or actually joining and committing to an ongoing group. So you get the full teaching. So this is our new face. And remember this, to get then for more information about this, check the text on diamondapproach.org website. And there'll be some in our Facebook too. That way you'll give a lot more details. And also the registration and the access and how to access it will be on the website, diamondapproach.org.